Hello and welcome everybody to the Front Nine coverage of round 2 of the 2021 Discraft Green Mountain Championship presented by Upper Park Disc Golf. Brian Earhart coming at you yet again with Nate Perkins. We have moved to the Fox Run Meadows Disc Golf course, out in the open, in the wind, with the white stake out of bounds everywhere. Complete opposite of Brewster Ridge. What do you think, Nate?
Yeah, you said it right there, Brian. There's a lot more airspace out here at Fox Run. Considerable amount of OB. Yeah. Almost every hole has out of bounds. You can take a number, but you can also score. We've seen double-digit rounds out here at Fox Run, just as much as we see out at Brewster.
And as you see, we have some familiar faces and some new names up at the top of the leaderboard, so we will see what happens in this round 2. Hole number 1 is a 550-foot par 4. You start from out of bounds. You play kind of a risk-reward shot off the tee. You can play a putter or a mid to the safe zone and then shoot into the tree line. OB on the left, OB on the right, OB deep. A lot of players are going to go bite off a driver, but they do risk skipping off that downslope out of bounds. So here's Corey. Corey definitely has the speed to be able to fight this wind. There was a lot of wind, on and off drizzling rain, so it was a little uncomfortable for some of the cards throughout the day. Ooh, low out of the hand. He is safe, though.
We're actually teeing off from out of bounds, and Corey actually just cleared the OB right there.
Yeah, we have Corey Ellis, Chris Dickerson, Andrew Presnell, Andrew Marwede. This is going to be a treat of a card, and it's refreshing to see Dickerson back. He's
haven't seen him in a while on Gatekeeper. Very conservative, but it's 550. You don't really need much off the tee here.
It's ideal to get close to the initial trees so you don't have to shoot underneath the canopy.
Let's hear it for Andrew Presnell.
And Andrew is very good at course management. He's very good at kind of scrapping his way around the course, and he has historically done very well on these courses.
Yeah, he played well at the World Championships here in 2018. Just a couple strokes outside of the top 10.
Oh, and he's playing a little turn out of the hand, and that's going to flatten and gets a great tree kick, saving him from out of bounds.
We're planting trees already, Brian.
Oh, yeah.
And Andrew Marwede has had a phenomenal second half to this Disc Golf Pro Tour season.
Representing Innova Champion Disc. He's got a big-time win on tour this year. Let's hear it for Andrew Marwede.
Yeah, huge sidearm and a really solid backhand that he's been proven to us too. He's got all the tools. And he's just going conservative, low shot. Again, with his sidearm, it's pretty easy to play safe off the tee here. Oh, Corey doesn't turn it enough, but luckily, again, hits a tree and kicks him straight down.
Did you know that Andy uses one finger on his forehand grip?
He is a one-finger sidearm thrower, huh? You know, I know Dan Schlitter from Illinois is a phenomenal one-finger sidearm thrower.
I'm going to have to say that Andy Marwede is probably the best one-finger forehand player in the world.
I mentioned Schlitter from Illinois because those are really the only two that I know of that are playing at a really high level, especially with a dominant sidearm. Interesting.
Dickerson's driver goes a little long.
Presnell, nice, soft, floaty putter.
Check up. Oh, that hit the stake.
Oh, no, and he just goes out of bounds, pin high. He should take a meter in, have about a 25-footer.
And I'm pumped to get to watch Corey Ellis once again here on Gatekeeper.
And they are trying to make a call. Those painted lines in the grass can sometimes yield some interesting calls. Maybe a painted piece of grass is leaning over the line. Starting off with a birdie. Chris looking clean. Pretty textbook birdie on that hole. And a little longer than a 25-footer for Presnell. Yeah, this hole just seems so simple.
It really is.
It looks so straightforward when you step up to it, yet I see so many players start off the round either skipping OB left off the tee, not getting their drive far enough. There is a lot of pressure to try to get a 3 on this to start off the round.
Yeah, the start out here at Fox Run is relatively easy. Here we are, hole 2, just 240 feet. You've probably got a 12-foot gap that continues until you get to about circle 2, and there's actually OB long and right, and this basket is typically elevated. Straight and simple, though. You got to hit the gap.
The big danger is actually the OB long. There's a lot of hyzers that'll skip, hit the brim right next to the basket, and then roll deep. I've seen it happen way too many times. Dickerson does not have that result. He is going to be 5 feet from the basket, parked for birdie. And this is that super flippy roach we saw Corey throw in on hole 2 yesterday. Oh, and he sprays it. Couple of early releases to start the round.
All right. A little forehand pig action here from Marwede.
Hits the last Guardian. He's going to have a little up and down for a 3. And Presnell puts a nice low stable disc out there. Believe that was a zone.
Really?
I believe so, and judging just by the flight, that had some nice tail off at the end, but it wasn't that fast.
Nice recovery shot from Corey. Can get a little tricky with the OB long there. We're typically here in Vermont right when the trees start to show signs of changing. Just a couple weeks before they all start to go, but we get some color when we're here in early September.
I was just making the same note today, Nate, as Presnell taps in a nice birdie.
It really couldn't be a nicer place to play disc golf.
It's amazing to be playing and then look up at the tree line, look up at the mountains, and it almost seems like they're literally changing in front of our very eyes. Just a wonderful time of year to be up here in Vermont. Bingham Falls, 15 minutes away, kind of a spot all the players love going.
I still remember the first R Pro dart I ever got. I took it to the course and immediately I knew that it was a disc that was going to make my bag. It's just a disc that feels like it was made for my hands. It feels all I have to do is think about what I want it to do and it just does it. And that's why I usually carry at least 2 or 3 of them in all the tournaments I play.
Hole number 3. Mando left of the tree on the right that the drone just passed. It goes uphill and it subtly bends left, and then it hits this downslope. You must watch the pace of your disc as you're moving left. Can't throw something too overstable either. Another one of those push hyzer lines that they're making the players throw a lot. It's just a good mix of control, spin, speed, angle. And Dickerson hits the hill. Doesn't quite get the forward push, but he might be inside circle 2. We'll see.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to be on this hole. You kind of baited into going for that putt. And
Yeah.
The OB long comes up quick.
Here's that drone. And he does get the skip forward, but he keeps going. And it puts him to about 35 feet obstructed. He's going to have some of those skinny trees in the way. Let's see if Corey can connect on one. That looks a lot better.
Slow down.
Oh, no. Kicks a tree. Puts him to about 55. Ooh, we're going to see a nice little forehand. Is he going
Interesting.
left gap? There
Is
is a
he?
gap off to the left side.
I've never seen that route.
It's a lot lower. He is going for it.
is.
It is such a lower ceiling. So much more in the way.
He's in the circle. Wow.
Huh.
He's really
I've
feeling
never
that
seen that
forehand.
line.
Yeah, first time.
Oh, there we go. Weak side.
This guy.
55-foot death putt for Corey Ellis.
Gatekeeper rewind. Oh,
And
look
with
at that
the
catch.
speed that he put on that, that was a great weak side catch on that Mach X. A lot of times they like to spit discs out coming in on the weak side, so that was a great catch. He really needed that one. Dickerson going off the top. Okay. Well, I feel very ashamed as a left-handed player to say that I've never looked at that
Never
line.
even looked that way.
No. I've seen this hole played a lot of ways. I actually was on a card with Austin Hannum and Germ, who both threw tomahawk on the hole and parked it both times.
Wow.
Yeah, such a
haven't seen
short
that.
hole, but there's a lot of creative ways to attack it.
We used to be able to go hyzer on this hole until they put the Mando in play.
Yeah, over the power lines on the right side. Yeah, Spike Hyzer's turning into a shot that it looks like they're trying to take it away. There's not many holes where we get to see that line anymore. Either there's a Mando being put in or a T-pad is being adjusted. Hole number 4, Nate. This is an interesting hole. What do you think?
This is so tricky. All the tall grass you see there is out of bounds, and that bush just keeps getting taller every year, and the wind really starts to pick up here. We've crossed the road now. This tee shot for the right-hand backhand, you have to get it high and turning over the bush, but you can't turn it too much, and you can't fade too much either. Probably one of the more demanding tee shots at Fox Run.
Corey throwing a little bit low. He does end up safe. He's going to be a little farther from the basket. There is a tough left to right wind that we saw on this second shot. Ooh, and he leaned into that one, and he got it to drift all the way right. That's going to be a beautiful shot if it stays off this bush.
Oh, and the backwards roll to... That was unfortunate. Just behind the bush. Chris going FX2 here.
Great shot.
He really gets that weight behind every shot.
I was just about to say that.
The pace that he brings into every throw.
It's his rhythm. It's just the way he's not going slow to fast. He has a really solid tempo throughout every shot, throughout the entire throw. Presnell also putting a good move on his, and he's going to be more to the left side, a little bit more direct shot to the basket.
Corey probably 350 out here, and that is early release with that Raptor, and that's OB. It might not have even crossed up there.
Okay, that was a nice fortunate break
fortunate.
off that rock.
OB is only circle's edge deep on this one.
Mm-hmm. He's having to go with something flippy on a patent pending line.
Did that make it?
Yes, he has
He
just
climbed the
crossed
bridge.
in.
What a break right there. Oh, Presnell
That
threw a
needs to sit. Oh, he just blew that one deep.
His drive was huge.
Yeah. And now he's going to have 30-footer to save his 4. So Corey did not cross over to the other side. Had to throw a standstill. Nice.
Great looking putt. The trajectory on Prezzy's putts is like no one else. Just low to high like that. It starts
super low
so
to high.
Low. Oh, and Corey just leaking out the right there.
And Dickerson for another birdie. Going 3 for 4. Yeah, there he goes. This initial stretch, like you said, you need to start collecting birdies when you can. Once you get to hole 7, there's a tough stretch of holes. And even hole number 5 could be included in that stretch in the front 9. Hole number 5, 450-foot par 3, super challenging. This OB is shrunk a little bit on the left and right side. Basket is on the hill, pond to the left, OB, and they really have made it tough to even lay up. They really want you to pound one down this right side, and Chris has thrown a decent shot, little short. Oh, but he gets a great skip, and he's putting for birdie. You see a lot of these tee shots going on the right side, carrying way too far forward. There's always some sort of hard crosswind.
There really is. Always slight head left to right. Marwede going to show us another new line here. This is a big shot.
It's a big shot, and he's going conservative, or at least he's trying.
Yeah, he's playing for par with that.
Absolutely.
That line.
If you want to get the birdie going left, you have to send one over the tree line, over the pond on the left side.
Presnell like force here?
Yeah. Most definitely a force, and he has thrown a fantastic fantastic
What a
shot.
shot.
Let's jump back to Presnell's form. Very authentic throw, but he still does a lot of the same things right as a lot of the other players. And the thing that I've shown with so many people is you watched that little pump that he does initially is talking with his back foot. They both go together at the same time. That is timing. He does a little scoop. He kind of brings the disc up like Corey.
Corey needs some help here.
Oh, and he went behind everything, and he's
Where
gone
is that?
way deep out of bounds. I don't even know if he's come back in. He might be way out of bounds, way back there. Yeah, look at him. Still 300 away. He's going standstill again, and I don't.
No, that is... He's going to have to just rethrow.
Every throw has just looked out of whack. Just... You can't say unfocused.
Yeah, he just held on to both of those.
Couple are coming out earlier, couple are coming out late. The one that he threw well on 3 hit a tree.
He nearly went 100 long on this hole just then. That needs to slow down.
Oh,
wow.
No.
This is a nightmare hole for Corey.
Yikes. And Marwede knowing his limits and I guess throwing the only type of layup you can throw on the hole. And Chris, from a pretty solid spot, that's where you want to be putting if you're going to be inside circle 2, at least putting uphill. And this is for a 7, I believe. 3 OBs. And he hits it. But man, that is such a deep cut. Especially going double bogey on the previous hole. You just don't want to see the wheels fall off this early.
And what a drive from Andrew. Slight headwind putt here. I've been playing with Andrew for years, and every time he gets me with the third pump.
He has a very strict routine. He does not stray away from it.
If it's outside 10 feet, he putts on the 4th pump, which is great. Applaud the man for it.
Yeah.
Stick to your routines, just like that man right there.
That's
the
kind of his
robot
claim to
chicken.
fame is consistency.
All right, hole 6. They're kind of throwing us another softball here. 275, little OB left, little OB right. I've got a feeling we're not going to be seeing holes like this on the tour for too much longer.
No, these courses are a time capsule, and this is why I think a lot of people really love coming here. You got to love an ace run hole. You love an opportunity to throw it close, mixed in with all these really beautiful, challenging holes. But I agree with you. We're seeing courses like Northwood Black pop up that are not letting you do that. And Chris has thrown a great shot. Chris has a really solid sidearm.
Absolutely.
I don't even know if I can call it underrated. He's been executing all different types of sidearms for years. Simple mechanics, keeps the elbow a little bit off the body.
He points with that left elbow, which is one of the first things I like to teach when teaching the sidearm. Ricky Wysocki has always been big on that. But no. Slow down.
Are you
No.
kidding me?
That's
the most unlucky thing I think I've seen in a long time. Hitting the base
so
of the wooden
sad.
structure, 70-foot rollaway out of bounds. Wow. That's killer. That is almost Sarah Hokum D-Glow rollaway level. Not as comical.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. And he, look at him just calmly walk it in.
For the 3.
Where's his cookie?
Yeah, keep an eye out. We missed it last time.
Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
He is just unfazed. Andy, I love watching Andy hit circle 2 putts. That is too much fun.
That's why he's here. The ability to hit comebackers separate people at the top of the leaderboard from the middle of the pack. Presnell hits another solid putt. Birdie in 5 and 6. That's a solid stretch. And it's nice to have a little padding going into 7, 8, 9.
It's a good bounce back.
It's a fantastic bounce back. Yeah, quadruple bogey on hole number 5.
You won't see that a lot at Brewster, but that does happen out here.
Absolutely.
At Fox Run. There's just so much OB.
Here we go. Hole number 7, 1,280-foot par 5, stiff headwind in round 2. They have pinched some OB on the right side in a bit. They've changed the OB on the left side to bubble out in front of the basket to really make players think twice before attacking the green. It's been tough to attack the creek, trying to go over in one shot. A lot of players are throwing this chip sidearm, playing the hole a lot more conservatively, just with the wind.
What do you think it is to clear? Like 425 to get to the other side?
Yeah, I would say about 400 to 420 to clear fully. And with this wind, you got to give it, 480 worth of power. And players are just opting out. I haven't seen a single player go for it. Yeah, you saw those feather banners just ripping.
Kind of looked like Corey was actually going for it there.
Yeah, I couldn't quite tell if he was going for the chip hyzer. The way it came out of his hand looked like he was just trying to chip it. I still don't know.
Yeah. Everyone at home is going to be trying one finger forehands.
It definitely positions the disc differently in your hand. It positions it more like that claw grip that, like Macbeth, Sexton, it has your palm facing the target. And this is going way out of bounds. And whereas the 2-finger grip, that kind of standard stack grip, your palm is more facing up towards the sky. So it does come out of the hand a bit differently.
Andy is definitely in the forehand master category.
Yeah, he reminds me of like a Sexton. Like
Yeah.
He's not doing miraculous things with the side. I mean, obviously the lines he throws are amazing, but it's more the fact that he has those consistently high-level lines just on speed dial.
Is that getting to the corner? And it does. That's perfect position. Let's see if Andrew can match that one. This This tee shot from short of the creek is a little tricky because it's slightly uphill, but you can't get the nose up because you'll start to hyzer too early.
That looks high. That needs to spike quick. Okay. Yeah, another great shot. This was the second hardest hole in the course, averaging a 5.69 as a par 5.
I'm pretty sure Andy's out of position. He's just going to pitch up.
And he pitches up down that right fairway. Should be no problem up and down for him.
What are your thoughts on this change, Brian?
You know, it definitely makes the hole tougher. That's what I will say. It adds more OB. Adds a lot. Yeah, Corey just went long.
Again.
Yeah. It definitely makes you think a lot more. There's a lot more strategy involved.
Presnell probably outside 400 feet here.
And that is a great shot.
Yeah, he nearly hit the base on that one.
What I will
Great
say about the
distance.
change is that it takes the eagle out of play. And hearing the story of Calvin eagling the old placement, I think is awesome. And I think the temptation of going for the eagle is cool, but this definitely adds a bit more scoring spread.
I witnessed that shot in person, actually. 600-foot straight destroyer.
Oh, no. Goes OB a little bit long. He's going to have a 30-footer. Yeah, textbook play.
Yeah, he knew he was out of position. Laid up, tossed the pig in there. Dickerson to safe par. Looks like he will get to step this one in.
Oh, and just sneaks it over the front. Kind of an interesting stance that he just took. Both of his feet were together, straddle. Interesting.
I've actually been asking this question to a lot of the pros, and I'd like to ask the viewers here now. Do you guys think that we should be able to have a supporting foot out of bounds? Should you be able to have 1 foot out of bounds and 1 foot inbounds and take your putt? Because I've kind of always thought that it shouldn't matter if you have a foot out of bounds if you're throwing from inbounds. And, because some people take a meter. Like, for example, James Conrad, if he takes a meter, he can't putt his normal stance. Mm-hmm. His stance is wider than a meter.
Yeah.
And it limits him. Whereas another player like Paige Pierce, she can take her full stance. I'm just curious what the thought process is behind not being able to stand out of bounds at all and throw.
I wonder if it's just eliminating gray areas, and certain situations it sounds like it would be a great idea. Other situations, maybe not.
Like soccer, you can be standing out of bounds, but still keep the ball
I see what you're
inbounds
saying.
and touch it,
Yeah, that is
Just a thought. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. Hole 8. You said it, Brian. 7, 8, and 9 is really the meat of this course, and hole 8 is just one of the toughest par 4s out here to birdie, not necessarily to par or to keep the numbers low, but this first tee shot.
I love it.
It's just, it's very specific. You have to throw this high turning anhyzer.
Yeah, your distance is right. You have to throw right and get it to go far in that direction. So a lot of times you're throwing a much flippier disc than you're used to, high, and then once it hits that shelf and ticks over on that turnover, that's where you have to get your distance. It's not forward. So it's a very unique distance shot it's making the players throw. And if you don't get enough, you'd have absolutely no look at getting a birdie.
Yeah, you probably have to throw 450 off this tee to have a look. It's just slightly uphill. It probably plays closer to 900.
Wow! That's the longest drive I've absolutely ever seen on this hole. Hugged the entire right side on a towering Anheuser, flattened out midway through.
Huge.
Oh, I wish we got another angle on that too. That was a huge drive.
Yeah, he was 150 feet in front of that short pad up there.
Wow.
He's almost on flat ground, Brian.
He's throwing the disc well right now.
See if Corey can match that.
Oh.
That came out hot. That's turning and panning a little earlier than Chris's, but also a huge drive.
And he gets off to the left side, so he has more space to look at the basket.
Yeah, and this is just a layup from here. There's a lot of OB right and left. Marwede also just laying up. Par plays here on hole 8.
Oh, yeah.
What did this one play, Brian?
Averages a 4.44 on the day. So, again, almost a half stroke over par. And it's a lot of stuff just like this happening. Just leaking a little bit too far left, too far right. Not conceding the par when you know birdie's out of the question. Dickerson, though, has a look to throw a turnover into this green.
Wow, we really cannot say enough about that drive. I've never seen anybody near that position after one.
And he's putting for birdie. And Presnell just going nice and simple, floating it right up to the basket.
Now that nose was just down immediately out of his hand. It's been a really tough start for Corey. You know where he's at. He started off
Double
9 under par.
bogey,
He's 6 over for the round.
Quad bogey, birdie, another double bogey. And it's just little mistakes. Disc is just not coming out exactly how he's envisioning it, and we all know that feeling. Dickerson. Chris getting the birdie on number 8. Such a coveted birdie on this course. And he is 1 under par through this 7, 8, 9 stretch. And if he can notch another birdie on hole 9, that is going to take him way ahead of the field. You see him tied for first right now. Hole number 9 is an iconic hole on this course, if not the iconic hole in this course. Boulder right behind the basket. Nice reference point, actually, but there's OB all around this basket. You're shooting downhill, and the wind is never in your favor. You have to throw something fast, but you can't let it leak left or right. This is landing nice and softly.
Look at that, just nestle. He has so much control.
Yeah, that might have only traveled 5 feet once it hit the ground. That's what you need to throw on this hole. You can't come into the ground with too much pace. Andrew also throwing a great looking shot. Just a little bit shorter. Nine played even tougher than 8. 3.52 average.
That needs to sit.
And I understand Andrew's pain today playing this hole as a forehand dominant player. Throwing that counterclockwise spin. The wind was not in his favor. Oh, and that's going to get down for Corey. Oh, man.
Lucky break right there.
Yeah.
The spike's safe. You know, Andy playing 7, 8, and 9 for par. And I don't think he's stressing about it at all.
Looks like exactly what his game plan was. We've just seen historically in the past what the hot rounds are, and they're not necessarily that low. You know, you don't have to get birdies on every single one of these holes. It's actually much better to not take a big number on some of these holes.
And it's actually started to calm down. This card teed at 230, 240.
Yeah.
At noon to 1 o'clock.
Nasty weather.
It was swirling. It was still raining. Things are starting to calm down, and the top of the field is kind of getting a break from the conditions.
Oh, and Chris notches another birdie. He is in solo first place right now. He is throwing the disc so well.
What did he just shoot on the front? 6?
I believe so. Wow. And like you said, they did get a break in the conditions because it was nasty for a lot of those players that were teeing off, trying to make a fight for the top of the leaderboard. But they are doing their best to capitalize on this break in the weather. There you have it, folks. Front 9 is over, and a 6 down for Chris Dickerson is going to set the pace moving into the back. Presnell not doing too bad himself. Only blunder on hole 1. And let's hope Corey starts fighting back on this back 9.
Yes,
a lot
please.
more scoreable stretch. And as you
Chris
can see,
taking the lead. Matteo also shooting a 4 under on the front. We've got a lot of golf left. I mean, this is a 4-round tournament.
yeah, I mean, cut after the 3rd round. So they need to make moves here. They can't let these big numbers get the best of them, and we will see what happens on this back 9. We will see you soon.